And riders, there it is in all its glory, the new Forestal in Andorra. You can't come to Andorra without checking out the Forestal, and there is one right now in Riders Boutique, which is a really cool bike shop in Andorra with a great name, Riders, don't you think? And the owner, Ugo, has connections with the guys at Forestal, and maybe, just maybe, I'm going to be able to ride it. Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and today I'm a super lucky guy. I'm here in Andorra testing the Siryon. It's a super light 170 29er e-bike with 60 Nm, 360 watt battery, and it's 18 kilos, more or less. I'm super excited to ride this bike, so let's go. All right, so we're dropping in on the Forestal, super excited. First downhill. I'm really lucky. I reckon I'm one of the first test riders or YouTubers to make a video on this bike. This is the first downhill. We're in Andorra, and clearly you can't come to Andorra without trying to test ride the new Superlight from Forestal. All right, so the format of this is we don't have much time, so I'm going to tell you how I think it rides and how the motor feels. We're going to do some climbing, and then I'm going to just have a think about it over the next couple of days and give a conclusion. But you know, it's not a full review, it's a first look. Maybe if I'm with any luck, Forestal will let me lend the bike for a little bit longer to do some more testing. 170 29er, 17.5 kilos, 60 Nm motor, which is a kind of collaboration between Bafang and Forestal. It's going to be made exclusively for Forestal by Bafang, but they have engineered it and designed it together. Tell you what, straight out of the gate, it is fast. What are we looking at? Geo numbers. We're 64-degree head tube angle, 488 reach in a large, but you know, when I jumped on it, it felt more like 470. 446 chain stays in a large and extra large. They're also doing a small and a medium chain stay, 10 mil shorter, which I really love when I see that a bike company is going to that type of detail, because as you know, oh, we've got some doubles. Oh, easy. Float over them easy. So it's 5 o'clock. We've got half an hour before the bike park closes. Unfortunately, this all happened, well, fortunately, this all happened very organically today. It's pretty windy out here. I hope you, whoa. Pretty good. Are we gonna jump it? Let's jump it. Oh yeah! You can definitely feel the lightweight. Damien, the head engineer, they wanted me to really set it straight that this is an in-house test bike. So it's not painted, it's not running 100% as they're selling it, but they're super nice to lend me it for, I'm gonna say, I'll probably hopefully get 2 hours of riding. I know there's been a lot of people talking about Forestal. They're a startup from Andorra, 3 years old, but a pretty aggressive startup. They got a downhill bike, they've got a 170 front and back enduro bike, and they've got a 150 trail bike. And they've also got some fold-up electric bikes that look pretty cool. Seem to have a fair bit of money behind them, and looks like they're making some great stuff. But I tell you what, it's feeling fast. It's a nice balance between stability and playfulness. I think that changed at 446 on a 29er really is a sweet spot. Gives you stableness and also a bit of playfulness. Now, I was talking to the engineers. I won't have time obviously to test it, but they're saying they're getting around 1,400, 1,500 meters of vertical climbing in sports mode. The massive like iPhone screen on it is a nice touch, really well integrated. We're rocking Panasonic tires. I mean, it is very strange for me not to be running my Schwabies. And a massive shout out to Schwabie, the long-term sponsor of Sam's Bikes. We do this on the first half an hour on a bike, but I'm going to do the black run. I'm going to do Cedric Garcia because he is the man that is doing the ambassador program. He talks very highly of these bikes, and you know, I have bugger all time. I just want to really put it through some paces, put it through some chunder. And it seems to be performing. Very fast, confident. It's dry today though, definitely more traction. Yeah, the suspension seems to be not packing down, holding up well. They're definitely giving me a lot of support. Ooh, almost over the bars then. I'll give that road gap a miss today. Oh, we've got a nice, oh, that was a good jump. Oh, only ridden this track twice. Oh, this is the second time on a new bike, so don't kill yourself for Kodak, Sambo. Whoa. I mean, it's impossible to test a bike in 2 hours, but what I'm feeling right now is good. You know, it's really good to see the bike exists, because I've seen a lot of it on internet, seen a lot of talk about it, but you know, they had to bring this bike to production, and I dare say, where are we going here? It's a pretty big task. So it does exist. The guys, Rafa Forestal was saying, if you're ordering in Europe, there's lead times around 4 to 8 weeks. Give them a call. If you're going to order outside of Europe, definitely give them a call, drop them an email, just see how those lead times are looking. Oh, jump. Oh. Yeah, good bike, like it. Oh, I might get through it. Oh, you got through it. So as I said, I'd really love to have had like a week or maybe a month on this bike. I'd really love to set the suspension up. All we did is we did the setup, we did the sag, 25, 30, 25 at the front, 30 at the back, and that's it. Didn't do compression, didn't do rebound. Oh, I lie on the first big doubles I did, I felt I got bucked forward, so I just slowed down the rebound at the back for like 2 clicks. It's definitely progressive. It sits up in its travel. It's a poppy bike. Quite easy to jump. For a big 170, that's impressive. All right, the downhilling's done. Really impressed, really good bike, but it's an e-bike. So I'm gonna do, there's a bit of a hill climb here. It's about, I don't know, 50 meters. I'm gonna put it in turbo, or I think it's a race in the Forestal. I'm gonna see how fast I can get up here and how responsive and how much power it actually has. and then I'm going to get Camilo's bike and do the same test. He's got a Shimano E8000 on the Pivot Shuttle. You know, that's a full-powered e-bike, and this is a lightweight e-bike with 60 Newton meters, and his has 75. So it'll be interesting to see really, can the Forestal hang with the full power? Let's find out. So we're starting off, we're on the Forestal. We are in granny gear. We are in race, which is almost the top setting of support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this nasty hill climb, see how we go. All right, and we're off. And it's a pretty nasty, steep climb. I'm out of the saddle. And I tell you what, it's giving a fair bit of support. What's the time?
17 seconds.
17 seconds. All right, now let's get it on the Shimano, on the full powered Shimano, see how it goes. And we're off. Yeah, the Shimano's got more. Not sure how much more. Still very impressed with the Forestal. Time? So 1 second faster. Wow, Forestal's impressive. Why do I do that? I mean, in that hill climb test, the Shimano, which is probably the least powerful out of all the full powers at the moment, so, but it is a full power, and you know, the Forestal was only 1 second slower, and it felt to pull pretty hard. You know, that's impressive. All right, so this is the last part of the downhill. It's got a little bit of a rock garden, which I like. It's actually quite a fun little last part as you head back into downtown Andorra. So here's a little bit of a chunder that I was hoping for more of. Oh, super confident through that. Oh, off the brakes. Taking full advantage of the 29 wheels and the 170 suspension. Oh yeah, that was nice. And now we're just coming to the end of the ride, and I just thought I would just do a hill climb just for a bit of fun, you know. So this is 60 Newton meters. At the moment I'm in Eco. It's feeling pretty good out of Eco. Now we're in Tour, which is the middle setting. Climbs up pretty good. Now let's go into the top setting. Not that noticeable really going up from the mid setting to the top setting. And it's there, so we're going to use it. This is nitrous. So that definitely pulls pretty hard. But the guys are saying, yeah, this is something you don't want to use that often. Steep hills, 15 minutes per ride, 20 minutes per ride. Now, it is pretty steep out here, but I am going to turn it off. And let's see how much drag, if any, it has. It's kind of hard to tell because it's so steep. Seems to have next to zero drag when it's off. Climbs pretty well, I have to say. Let's turn it back on. And the pitch, it's kind of like a whistle. And I would say the decibel pitch would be in between maybe a Bros and a Bosch. The Bros will be the most silent. And then this is, I mean, it's a whistling sound. And this motor is actually 1 kilo and 95 grams. So pretty damn light motor. They've done a really good job. The pedal stroke, I'm just trying to analyze it in my mind here, riders. The feeling of the pedal stroke is a little light. It's not really giving you much feedback in your legs, which is good, but maybe not as natural as something like the Shimano EP8 or the Specialized Levo SL and Canevo SL. When I say feedback, it puts a little bit more pressure on your legs, and it really does mimic pedaling a normal bike with assistance. This feels a little lighter than that. But no, it's just different. It's not better or worse, it's just different. All in all, I'm impressed. Okay, right, it's back in Madrid and I've had a week to think about my first look on the Forestal. It's definitely not a review. I did 30 Ks, so not enough on a bike, but I really enjoyed it. And a massive shout out to Orgo from Riders Boutique. Absolute legend. He started the ball moving for me to then meet Rafa and Damien at Forestal and then to test the bike. Everyone was awesome. So these are my thoughts. I was really impressed with the Forestal. You know, 17.9 kilos, let's say 18. The bike rode like a super enduro mountain bike, not an e-bike, and it has 60 newton meters of power. So really impressive what Forestal's managed to do in 3 years. Design and build a motor with Bafang, pretty impressive. Set up the whole factory in Andorra. They're going to be producing those frames in Andorra in like the next 3 years. At the moment they're made in China, I believe. So yeah, really impressive work from Forestal. And how did the bike ride? For me, when I was going downhill, I really enjoyed it. It was one of those bikes that you get on straight away, you feel at home. The 488 reach in a large, for me, felt more like 475, 470. Didn't feel too long. The chain stay of 446, I really enjoyed. It wasn't too long, wasn't too short. Gave you that nice balance between playfulness and plantedness. And the kinematics or the suspension feeling for me was good. I would have liked more time to set the suspension up myself. You know, I had just over 2 hours to do all that testing and make a video. One thing I did notice with the suspension, when it was like really open and fast and chattery, it wasn't a magic carpet. It wasn't super plush. I did get a little bit of rocking, but I'm going to put that down to the suspension setup. And you might have heard a little bit of creaking coming from the bike in the video. Look, Damien made it very clear that this was like an in-house test bike and has done a lot of Ks, and it was not freshly serviced for my test. And he said it wasn't running perfect. I actually jumped on his bike, and his bike was really well set up and it made next to no noise. So definitely I wouldn't be worried about that, and I wasn't worried about that. And as for the motor, the collaboration between Bafang and Forestal, I think they've done a great job. You know, sub 2 kilos, 60 newton meters. I really need more time on the motor. Like, as I said, 30 Ks, 2 hours is just not enough to understand the e-bike motor. But my first impressions, very good. I would love to do a range test because I really wasn't able to get any type of gauge on the range because I was riding in a bike park. And the final words from Sam's Bikes, does the Forestal get a yay or a nay? I'm going to say it gets a yay. Like, they've done an amazing job with a pretty small team in a short amount of time to do all that work. Super impressive. I would love to have more time on the bike because I think they have done something pretty cool here, but I would love to do more testing. And riders, that's it for me this week. I hope you enjoyed my first look at the Forestal e-bike. I think they've done a great job. And if you have any questions on the Forestal, the Levo SL, the Kenevo SL, the Levo Gen 3, the Trek Rail, the Commensal Metapower SX, and the Decoy, and loads more e-bikes, I'm so happy to help. Just hit me up. Definitely, I really enjoy just helping riders pick that bike, and if they have any trouble with their bikes. And riders, you know it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Share it with like-minded people, and stay safe out there. And Bear and I leave to go on the trip next week. We're going to be in Lyon for a week. Then we're going to be in the Swiss Alps. Then we're going to be in the Italian Alps. And then we're going to be in Finale Ligure. So riders, if you are around and you want to go and do some riding with me, let's do it. I need to train pretty much every day, and it would be great to see you riders out on the trails on the trip. So hope to see you soon.